Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Cuomo has resigned. Now you have New York Post. Now Chris Cuomo must go too. Brilliant article. More people are talking about Chris Cuomo either leaving for good or getting kicked out of CNN. Why? Well, because there's something called the Trump curse. It is a phenomenon that I don't know how to explain it. You can go down the list of people. Michael Avenatti, now Andrew Cuomo. There was the Attorney General of New York, Eric Schneiderman. Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok. Let's see. I mean, you can go down the list. Juicy Smollett. You can go down the list of people. If their lives are devoted, if your life is devoted to taking down Trump, you yourself will be taken down. If your life is devoted to trying to undermine one human being, that's like the definition of misery. You're a miserable human being. If what you do every single day is try to take down one person based on some kind of warped, distorted, morally superior vantage point. Now, when I was reporting on Madam Secretary and writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, other publications about Bernie Sanders, or writing about Clinton's email servers with top secret intelligence, I never made it like this personal vendetta or quest. I never brought morality into the equation. I never said that Clinton was a bad human being. I understood that she was a politician, and that politicians are going to try to get away with a whole lot of things. And so if she had top secret and special access program intelligence, what I found, what I focused on was the fact that nobody cared. And that I couldn't stand that, but I never brought some kind of moral code into the equation. So when I wrote articles in The Hill, when I was a contributor in The Hill or the Huffington Post about Clinton's emails, it was never, she's a bad human being because she had private servers with top secret intelligence that were unencrypted for 3 months, that the whole entire planet could have infiltrated, almost certainly did. James Comey basically bolstered everything I was saying in his speech, covering everything up. But it was never about morality. This is a very, very bizarre Orwellian time period where you have Andrew Cuomo getting an Emmy from these lofty Hollywood high priests of morality and behavior and codes of conduct. And they're also going after Trump every day, saying that he's tarnishing democracy. I never said Clinton was tearing apart democracy. I know that democracy is greater, more grandiose than anything a politician does. But they take it one step too far, and they fall off a cliff all the time. That's why you get Eric Schneiderman, Peter Strzok, and Andrew McCabe. I mean, you could add a whole bunch of people. You could add Joseph Mifsud, the professor from Gilligan's Island. I mean, you can add a whole bunch of people. You can say, you look at what they do every night with Chris Cuomo and CNN, what he's done in terms of, how is he going to go on screen now and talk about Trump being a horrible human being when his brother is accused by 11 women and there's a criminal probe? There was never a criminal probe with Trump pertaining to any allegation or accusation. A criminal probe. There might have been lawsuits pertaining to defamation, but a criminal probe, there was never a criminal probe against Kavanaugh. There was never a criminal probe against Trump. They say, he has 20 allegations. There was never a criminal probe. There was a criminal probe with Andrew Cuomo, and there was a police report with our beloved President Biden. So don't say that, Democrats are cleaning house. By the way, if you enjoy my work, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. But also, if you want to support my voice or my work or this segment, there's a super thanks. The super thanks button is right next to the like and the share button to the right. So your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you do want to contribute to this channel via the super thanks, and that's below, right to the right of the like and the share buttons. I thank you, for your support. But Cuomo's pretty much done. And both of them, Andrew Cuomo, still facing criminal issues, resigned from governor of New York. He had a book on leadership lessons. This is how twisted the minds of morally superior liberal Democrats are. They bought a book from Andrew Cuomo on leadership lessons. Okay? Leadership lessons. And so you have to ask yourself, what matrix, what world, what paradigm are they living within? How do you view the world? How distorted, how warped is your life when you blame everything under the sun, as being Trump's fault, when Andrew Cuomo presided over the absolute worst the worst numbers? Unfortunately, God bless the people of New York and New Jersey. Phil Murphy and Andrew Cuomo presided over the absolute worst numbers. They go to the New York Times statistics from the very beginning of this global health catastrophe. From the very beginning, there was New York had the absolute worst per capita rates and the greatest number of lives lost. It's run only by Democrats. Only by Democrats. And there was a courageous Democrat in New York, Ron Kim. And so I tip my hat to Ron Kim. He's an amazing human being. I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party, but Ron Kim was the first person to talk about one of the first people to talk about Cuomo and putting infected people in elderly care facilities. And so he went after Ron Kim, New York Assemblyman, went after Ron Kim and New York Assemblyman Ron Kim. Cuomo went after him, tried to intimidate him, tried to utilize his power as New York governor to go after a very courageous Democrat who notified the world, by the way. It wasn't like, here's the issue. It was only a few voices that initially started it, and Ron Kim in New York was one of the first very courageous New York State Assemblyman in Queens. Ron Kim basically told the truth and stood up to a giant in Andrew Cuomo, but he was like a paper giant. Like, it wasn't really Cuomo. Both he and his brother, Chris Cuomo, who had and then flouted protocols, didn't even abide by New York protocols like that. They don't do. President Obama doesn't. Mayor Bowser doesn't. Newsom doesn't. Pelosi doesn't. They don't believe the paranoia. Yeah, it's serious, and you have to abide by protocols. They don't abide by these protocols. That's why when you have liberal Democrats talking about, if you don't do this, it affects me. Sorry, you don't walk the walk. You don't abide by your own value system when it comes to issues pertaining to the global crisis, all the way to how you treat other people. And so Chris Cuomo, how is he going to go back to CNN? How is he going to go back to CNN and then pontificate and preach and give these sermons? They have replaced God for CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, the New York Times, groupthink. And at the end of the day, who has won? President Donald J. Trump has won. They lost yet again. It's a long list of people. Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, Eric Schneiderman. You remember who he was? He's the Attorney General who had to resign for doing maybe even worse, or allegedly doing worse. Who knows? He had allegations against him. Look at these wonderful liberal Democratic men. Oh, these wonderful people. These paragons of virtue. And by the way, never listen to anything Hollywood says about any topic. When you read the Emmy, and maybe they scrubbed it, but the Emmy The daytime, it was for daytime television. They gave Cuomo an Emmy for daytime television, okay? Give me your thoughts below. Speaking of daytime television or nighttime television, Chris Cuomo's out at CNN. He can't stay there forever after what happened. And after everybody knows who he is now, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll have a live stream later today.